Hi. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm really glad to see that my content about this new update has really taken off, from the fallout before we even got to the full picture to the hardware of the real deal. As of now, it's another week in Sandstorm. We just came out of a free weekend and some incredible numbers in regards to traffic, and with about 1,000 noobs still running around the game trying out the new update,
and getting rinsed by its veterans,
I figure it's about time to wrap up my thoughts on 1.9 as a whole, putting the controversy to rest and telling you how I feel having explored what's new. I'm Six Snipes, and you're watching This Week in Sandstorm. To be honest, this past month or so in the community has been, numerically speaking, the best, but in terms of controversy, the worst for both the game and my very own channel. I'll phrase this as if you're caught up on all the buzz since now, but if not, check the annotation or the description below to see a couple videos to catch you up. Now, clearly seeing the title and having almost certainly seen at least one of my previous videos criticizing what could have been, you may be surprised with a turnaround of perspective here, but to be perfectly honest, what we got was a great update. More or less 2 guns and a patch, both of which I will take without question, as fresh weapons are tight and less bugs is tighter. Not to mention the free weekend that brought in just shy of 15,000 players online at one time and introduced so many people to Sandstorm, and from what I gathered, acquired a lot of paying customers.
Shut up and take my money!
And I will say this with every bit of sincerity possible. If NWI had the courage to have developed all those skins and just bend them because of the overwhelming feedback they got, they deserve every cent of those purchases and more, and I genuinely hope they move on and learn to listen to their community more often. This doesn't make me change my position on the previous video on this. The skins going away was a win, but after introducing not one but 2 massively unpopular decisions, one being the skins but the other being competitive, we the community made ourselves content by saying that we changed their minds, when they're still ditching yet another game mode instead of taking the time to flesh out an otherwise okay pastime. I hope competitive comes back with tier rewards, specifically some actually dope cosmetics. Even an exclusive pair of gloves would be more than enough to get me to drop some tryhard PvP from time to time. But that's the game. As far as my channel, the rate of success which my first video saw is tremendous. I wanted a big showing to really drive home the idea that this sucks to NWI, who I know watches my videos, and this was that. I won't pretend to be the reason that this was rolled back though. I would tell r/insurgency to give themselves a pat on the back for waging a war of attrition, memes, and raw upvotes, which really changed the minds of the people monitoring the forums. I wasn't the first to cover it though. We also saw tons of other YouTubers jump on the topic and really discuss, never positively, about the direction the game was going, and honestly I think all of this input combined really sealed the deal. The problem is that the algorithm has picked up my video and thrown it into the stratosphere.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now. This is cancer.
Close to 50,000 people have seen it, and that's significantly more than this game has even copies sold on Steam. So the product is a bunch of people who know little to nothing about this game, seeing probably my most negative critique of it ever and taking that as, this game sucks now. Despite my best effort, I still get comments as if NWI sold their firstborn children to China yesterday and are unaware of what they've done to undo this mess, and really I feel sorry for that this is what happened. Would I go back in time and not say what I said? No, but having fixed the large portion of their mess, and that being the lesser takeaway to what they did to begin with, all in the name of YouTube drama, NWI got done dirty. It doesn't help that I largely started this very series in spirit with negativity. My first video saying anything poor about the game was a change of tune, because before then I was just the gun guy, but I felt like someone had to speak out because ultimately those poor decisions in many ways brought what we almost saw a month ago to fruition. But because of so many videos not letting up on the devs, I've developed a reputation among some for just being the insurgency hater. After my last video on this, I got plenty of messages saying, why are you still hating on them? They're fixing it.
And why is he here? He lost.
At the same time, a very large voice in the community, who I will not identify, but if you were on my Discord, you probably know exactly who I'm referring to, reached out publicly telling me that at that point I was just being overly critical and stirring the pot, encouraging folks to be dickheads, and in other media likening those still complaining about the game to just people having a hissy fit. This idea that I just relentlessly mock every update is laughable at best and downright unattentive at worst. Go watch my gun guides. I'm quite happy to play the game. I was very happy with previous expansions like Breakaway and Nightfall. Ask yourself, if I really didn't like this game so much, why would I make so many videos? The reality is I don't get critical, much less serious at all, unless I really like something. And while I can't speak for everyone else who agrees with my past videos, I'm sure it's not just a bunch of kids having a temper tantrum. So next time you find someone on the internet who disagrees with you with their words, keep in mind that at least in this case, you have something in common. You both love this game. And if it isn't obvious, I love Insurgency. I've always been dedicated to giving every decision in development a fair shake. So with that being said, the actual 1.9 is an awesome time. New World stood to lose a lot of cash on not delivering any new purchasable content, but instead of blundering, they instantly recovered and turned it around by giving us days on end of letting our friends try this title out for free. And as if that wasn't epic enough, I had a blast with not one but both guns. They largely carried the same level of quality I've come to expect from the game, with, in my opinion, the best gunplay since Rainbow Six Siege. Throw in some minor tweaks to the UI as well as new quality of life features, and it was a recipe for success. The level of polish on this update was phenomenal. The number of bugs I got was minimal. In fact, the most major thing I can think of is the reload grip continuing to swap mags so fast it just breaks your fingers. And really, aside from that one thing, this is the level of quality I'd like to see going into the next major update. Something more playable at day one, especially for all the new faces. In retrospect, they could have gotten out one cosmetic at least. This digital dig for the QTS and friends on security. It's honestly more of the same Desert Hex and Urban Digital we came to know, and to be perfectly honest, with the assets for it just lying around, if they started selling this tomorrow, you wouldn't hear any complaints from me. I think we were too caught up with the other three abhorrent designs to really give it any attention, so it became a casualty of the protest. Maybe y'all should start asking if we can have this, but that's just me. I do feel very refreshed by 1.9. I haven't had this much fun in Sandstorm in what feels like ages. It was such a pure expansion with no BS bugs or crazy looking camos. It was simplistic, and the fact that it was enough to see all these new players makes me genuinely happy. And because of this, I myself intend on making a tips and tricks video, not just for the new guys, but every level of player here in the very, very close future, because I have a few tricks and factoids up my sleeve that I know not a lot of people are exposed to. But I think this video writes the ending to what I have to say about 1.9. There's really nothing else to talk about. Could it have been bad? Absolutely. Was it? Not at all. I look forward to more of this stuff, the simple, the straightforward, and most of all, the Sandstorm we love, because trying to be any other game is just silly. I'm Six Snipes, and this has been your week in Sandstorm. Now I have a subscriber special to go work on. Thanks all, and have a great weekend.